meeting of the City Council to order. Could you please bow your heads for invocation by Councilman Cumberland?
Our Heavenly Father, thank you for another beautiful day. Thank you for the opportunity to serve on City Council and represent the residents of Diamond Head. Please provide us patience to listen and understand the concerns of our community. Give us courage to speak when necessary, strength to stand for what's right, and wisdom to know when to do so. Help us be humble, consistent, and make sure all of our actions are done with integrity. Lord, be with all those in our community who have suffered great loss. Touch their hearts, lift their spirits, and let them know we care for them. They're in our thoughts and in our prayers. We ask this in your name, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor DePrio.
Here.
Councilmember Finley.
Here.
Councilmember Lisi.
Here.
Councilmember Cumberland.
Here.
Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Marr.
Here.
Could I get a motion to confirm the agenda or adjust?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Cumberland to confirm. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. City Clerk?
Finley.
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Cumberland.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the City Council will be held on November 21st, 2023 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers located at City Hall. The Diamond Head Barbecue and Brews will be held Saturday, November 11th, 2023 from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. at City Hall. The Town Green Christmas Festival will be December the 9th, 2023 with the parade starting at 4 at the Country Club and the festival starting at City Hall on the Town Green from 5 to 8. There is a caregivers resource fair that will be held in the activity room at City Hall on Monday, November 13th from 10 to noon. This event is to learn about the resources for caregivers and care receivers. City Hall will be closed Friday, November 10th, 2023 in observance of Veterans Day. And now I'm going to ask Ms. June DeFore to come forward. Ms. June, we are very proud of you, so I'm going to read off this proclamation. Ms. June, proclamation to recognize Ms. June DeFore as the 2023 AARP Andrus Award recipient for the state of Mississippi. Whereas the Mayor and City Council of the City of Diamond Head wish to honor a longtime resident and volunteer, Ms. June DeFore. And whereas the Andrus Award for the community service is AARP's most prestigious and visible award for those who give their experience, skill, talent, and time to the people around them. And whereas the Andrus Award is named after AARP's founder, Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus, who inspired and continues to inspire communities across the United States. And whereas Miss June DeFore is still dancing at the age of 97, and volunteers directing and participating in the Diamond Head Newcomers Club, promotes various community-based activities in the Lions Club. She used her business expertise to start and manage financial investments for women. She engages in weekly activities at Annunciation Church, such as passing the basket, counting and depositing the collection, and fundraising. And she teaches beginner and advanced line dancing and Tai Chi. And whereas Miss June was nominated for this prestigious award by the Diamond Head Senior Village for being one of the founding members, volunteering, planning, participating in weekly programs, and for her generous, resilient spirit of volunteerism that has inspired us to be better people, better citizens, better volunteers. And whereas Ms. June DeFore is a lifelong member of AARP, and she fully embraces and represents the vision and purpose of the AARP through her volunteering and longtime commitment of community service. And now, therefore, I, Nancy Debrio, Mayor of the City of Diamond Head, along with the City Council, do hereby recognize Ms. June DeFore as the 2023 AARP Andrus Award recipient for the entire state of Mississippi. Ms. June, would you like to come get your proclamation? Congratulations. Nick, you want to come around here? So in addition to Ms. June receiving the Andrus Award for the state of Mississippi and representing Diamond Head well, she also was presented at her celebration ceremony on Sunday with AARP, the key to the city of Diamond Head.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm quite honored.
We love you. Want to scoot in here?
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. I just had a 3-page report from my doctor on the blood work. Everything's perfect.
Love you.
So I've got a few more years to go.
Oh, yes, you
Hopefully.
do. Thank you, Ms. June. Love you.
I got my money stuck down, y'all.
Thank you. Ms. June is definitely an inspiration to all of us. And yes, she can line dance better than me. So we have another proclamation, and we have a group of gentlemen here that we're very proud to honor tonight. So we are going to honor Diamond Head's Youth Association volunteers. But before we start with this, I want to go over a little bit that's transpired with the Youth League. So when the Youth League took over this year, and we've got new people managing the Youth League, we had a transition between the city and the POA. When they arrived a few months before, the transformer was broken, there was no electricity on the fields, the concession stand was not in great shape, it needed to be cleaned, it needed repairs. The restroom trailer needed repairs and it needed cleaning. The fields needed to be painted, and there is a whole entire list of other things that needed to be done. You all asked the POA, you asked the city, and over a course of a few months, it went back and forth, and no one could decide who was responsible till the week before the first game. I visited the field the week before the first game, and it was in dire need of many repairs. I came back 3 days later, the day before the first game, and it was total transformation. You all went above and beyond and worked extremely hard to pull together a fabulous football season for our youth, and we can't thank you enough. You worked tremendously. You were facing the most adverse situation, and you didn't know where to go, and I don't think some of us here knew where to go. But at the end, it worked out well. Everything got fixed. You moved forward, and it was a fabulous season. So we want to thank you all for that, and we're going to recognize all the volunteers that worked. And I want to give a shout out to Public Works, Ty and Public Works, because those men, John, great team. They got out there and worked like nonstop to pull this together. So the proclamation to recognize the Diamond Head Youth Athletic Association volunteers. Whereas the mayor and the city council of the city of Diamond Head wish to honor the volunteers of the Diamond Head Youth Association. And whereas Diamond Head Youth Athletic Association is a group of volunteers that work with the youth in the community, teaching valuable skills in football and cheerleading. And whereas Diamond Head Youth Athletic Association volunteers make a lasting difference in the lives of the youth, fuels passion for sports, nurtures potential, and shapes the future leaders of tomorrow. And whereas Diamond Head Youth Athletic Association volunteers work with parents and embark on a journey of remarkable benefits of being part of a team, improve physical health, enhance mental well-being, and the acquisition of invaluable life skills. It is a reminder of a lifelong friendships and cherished memories that flourish on the field, shaping very character of young champions. And whereas research supports a child's involvement in sports helps them to improve their social interaction, increase their confidence, and improve their listening skills and health. Participation in sports is linked to higher grades, lower dropout rate, reduced truancy, and lower crime rates. And whereas Diamond Head Youth Association volunteers help create an environment where every young person has access to transformative sporting experiences, creating a healthy society and nurturing the latent potential of young athletes. And whereas I, Nancy DePrio, Mayor of the City of Diamond Head, along with the City Council, do hereby recognize the Diamond Head Youth Association. And thank you all very much for what you did for our youth. Y'all mind coming up for a photo? Great job, gentlemen. Thank you all. Got it?
Good. 1, 2, and 3. Got it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You worked so hard. Thank you. Y'all are awesome.
Thank y'all. Thank you.
All right, now moving on to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a brief update on some of the projects we have going on here. The first one that we've had for quite some time now is Makiki Drive. I don't know if any of you have been out there to see the project, but they have done an excellent job.
Excellent.
And have cleaned that entire area up and installed everything properly. What they discussed with me today is they will probably be paving that road Monday. They're waiting for the area to settle, and then they'll pave over it. So they're done with the project overall. They grouted all the riprap that's in the ditches so that it'll hold in place and won't have grass and things growing through it. So it is a wonderful job and probably done in about 3 weeks. The total contract was for 60 days, and they have until the 17th of December to finish. But I think we can all mark that one off our calendars as it's done. But they're very close. So it looks beautiful. If you not yet done, okay, almost done.
It's
But if you go
extremely
see,
close.
I mean, the way the ditch looks and the way that whole project looks is really wonderful. Moving on to some of the other projects, the Park 10 Road, the contract for that is 270 days, so they have until June 1st to finish. They're currently working on all the sewer installations and other utility installations, and coming up from Noma Drive to Park 10 lanes, as well as from Leisure Time to Park 10. So they're working all of the unsuitable soils out and putting in the new dirt and compacting it down. So they're doing a great job with that one. It's the same contractor that did Makiki. So they're working on both of those. I believe the contractor told me he was going to get 2 crews in here probably next week to speed up that whole project to get all the utilities and all the water and sewer lines in place and the conduits in place for the electrical. So they're moving along on that project very well and making great progress with that one. The Noma Drive Restoration Project. The 3 guys that were here probably can tell you it's rough driving down there with all the rock down on the road, but it's a lot smoother than it was. The contractor has 150 days on that and has until February the 7th to get that work done. They have done everything they can at this time. They're just waiting now on the asphalt scheduling for that project, and that's the subcontractor getting back to them. They just are waiting on when that can be done. So they're pretty far along on that. And then they have the last bit will be the multimodal lane, which they're working on as well. Phase 4 paving, the punch list on that is a manhole that needs to be feathered out a little bit, and then a bird bath that needs to be taken care of on a cul-de-sac. And Huey P was supposed to be here yesterday. I did not get a chance to go up there and see if they had gotten there to work on that. So I'll check on that one probably tomorrow or the next day and make sure they finished up, and we'll get that punch list taken care of and finalize and finish out that project. The bond paving project, which all of you have probably seen and bumped over a few times here and there throughout the city, has been going very, very well. The contractor's been working on that one. It's a 150-day contract with a scheduled end date of March the 6th. I really don't see them coming anywhere near that date. They have completed all the milling, and I didn't get out there this afternoon to see, but they were probably finishing the second lane of the entire loop from the water tower up here to the community center. That's all they had left. Then they'll go back and do all the crossovers and make all those connections and tie-ins, so and smooth all that out. Then of course they'll get the painting down for all the lines. And that is one thing I do want to remind all of you, as well as everyone else, that we need to stay driving over in the far left side of the road, because that right side is where the multimodal lane will be and always has been. So there are people walking, jogging, riding bikes, golf carts, whatever, and we do need to be cognizant of those people and make sure we don't come around a curve and unfortunately have an accident. So please try to remember, stay as far over to the left as you're driving down Diamond Head Drive throughout. The next one, other projects we have going on, the Kaliki Way, that project went back to the engineer. They gave me 60% drawings a few weeks ago. We made whatever suggestions we had and gave back to them, so they're working on completing the design on that project. Bayou Drive received 60% drawings this week and have reviewed over those and returned them to the engineer, and they'll continue the design. Just one note for you guys to make sure all of you know. Agenda item number 12 is the proposal from the county to build a road from Bayou Drive or Bayou Place to Kapalama Place or Drive, I'm not sure exactly whichever, is in conjunction with this project. And the engineer estimated to build a temporary access road because when they have to build, put in the new drainage for Bayou Drive, they're going to have to tear the whole road out and it'll have to be closed. So there's no way the people above Bayou Place are going to be able to get out while that's there. So the engineer estimated a temporary access road. If the city built it and then tore it down after the project's over, it's going to cost us about $208,000. The county estimates they can build the proposed road that's on item number 12 for about $23,000. That road will then be used when the project starts as the entrance exit egress for the residents that live north of Bayou Place. Once the project's done, the road will be gated off and it'll only be used for emergency access when needed. And just as a further, in the future, it'll have to be a coordination between the county and the city. The county could open their side, but if the city doesn't open theirs, it won't be an open road, and vice versa. So it'll take both of us coming to an agreement that the road needs to be open for whatever purpose it needs to be. And over here, this was the proposal that we presented to the county, and Vic Johnson from the road department said he could build for about $23,000. After that, we met with the cemetery committee, and they would rather see a straighter road coming out to the far south access road and coming around. So Vic was going to look at that, see how the soils all were, and make sure that there would be a possibility to build a roadbed there. So if he can do that and make that happen, this road will come in a lot cheaper because it'll be a little bit shorter and be a little easier to get to. So it's very possible to be even less than that. But all this will be paid for with the city's road and bridge money that the county owns or has already. And I think as of June 30th, we had about $55,000 in there. So we've got more than enough money to cover this cost with the county. So that is what that agenda item's for, and for you guys to review and hopefully approve for tonight. Continuing on, Montjoy Creek, the engineer's still working on the legal description, so we can get our easements for that, so we can move forward on that project. The Noma Drive Walking Trail, we applied for that project through the Mississippi Outdoor Stewardship grant, and we'll have to wait and see what comes of that. Hopefully, we can get approved for that, because that would be a great project to move forward with. The canal dredging, we did finally get our approval from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to do the dredging, so they are starting on finalizing that project to get that moving forward. So hopefully the Restore Council will approve that, and we'll be able to dredge those canals out on the south side. And of course, we have all of our other ARPA and Go Mesa projects, which are continuing to be moving forward with the engineering firms as far as design goes. So we're working on that one. And one last thing, you guys have asked and discussed our city manager evaluation. I would like to recommend, if we could, December the 5th.
Okay, Councilman Moore?
A couple of things. One is on the Noma Drive that you said that they're basically ready to pour asphalt on it. This is from the circle down to the boat launch? You're talking about that whole area?
No, sir. The boat launch area just past the football field is not going to get paved. That was in our Tidelands project in phase 1. So that area is going to stay as just rock.
Okay, so
for
this will
boaters.
be
So this will be from the football field
to the circle?
all the way up here to, not just the Noma Drive circle, all the way
To
up here to
this
the
circle.
community center
Okay.
circle. So this area will just get an overlay. So it'll just get milled up a little and then overlaid.
Okay, because it seems that the road's still pretty rough from the other circle to the football fields, to not just have asphalt, but they need to do some,
I agree.
Serious,
I definitely think some more compact. I drove down it this morning, and I feel like there's some real areas that need some more compaction done. And that is what they're waiting on, is to get their compaction test back. It's possible they may fail in a few areas, and they'll have to go back and work on it. Unfortunately, I think, the football parents and all were driving down there on that rock, unfortunately, and that does loosen things up in a lot of places. And of course, I've understood that others have gone down there doing donuts and making a mess down there. It's just unfortunate, but they'll come back before they start paving and make sure all those areas are in good shape,
okay. Now,
compacted down.
on the Bayou Place,
Yes, sir.
the way it is now, without it being straightened to the other street, does that street go straight across to Capilama?
No, that is actually technically Capilama that comes all the way through. And the reason that we went with this kind of just a shape like that is so that as you're driving, you don't see that there is a road there. You just kind of see a little bit, and then it turns into a dead, and you think it's just a dead end. So we were trying to prevent people from wanting to see that there's a road there and wanting to drive down it. But like I said, the cemetery committee would much rather see us go down to that south road and come out from there and go back up. So and we're accommodating to that. As long as within there it'll work in the woods. We'll have to wait and see.
All right, Councilman Clark?
Just a couple myself. I just want to remind everybody, until we get the striping on Diamond Head Drive East, we still got cars parking on that side of the lane there. Everybody thinking right now it's a 2-lane, and I'm afraid somebody's car is going to get hit.
I agree.
So the sooner we can get them off that road, probably better off we'll be there. Also, on the Bayou Place area, how many homes will be having to go through there? Do you know?
I honestly, I did not count that. I mean, it is a large section of town, of homes up in that area, because you're talking all of Bayou Place, the top end of Bayou Drive, Bayou Way, and then
Hallowell?
yeah, all those other weirder street names that kind of go up there. But yeah, I would say, if I had to guess, anywhere between 45 to 60 would be my guess. I may be off on
So
that.
basically, right there from the kayak launch.
Pretty much from the
back.
kayak launch back. The road just past the kayak launch, and I can't think of the name of it, will be okay. That one will not be affected. So it's kind of just on the other side of it. So all those people just really pretty much just south or just north of Bayou Place is what's going to get cut off while that works. And of course, I've spoke to my engineer, talked about over and over, anywhere between 30 and 90 days max. Good contractor, that the road would be closed, because they'll do a lot of work prior to, and then tear the road up, put the box culvert in, fix it back, and then open it back up. So it's not like it's going to be a hopefully 6 month McKeekee project where it's a year and a half, 2 years where we're waiting on this to get opened back up. So now, me personally, I can't. I really hate the fact that we're going to have to drive through a cemetery. It just that has other issues for me. But I'm just, it's unfortunately. And the reason when I chose that is there's no other way. We looked at. There's no properties down here that the city owns or right away that the city owns that we could cross over through the power lines there and make that connection that way. The only other option is spending $200,000 for a road that gets torn up.
And anything new on that yellow house?
No,
Somebody was gonna ask. I might as well go ahead and get it out
No,
there.
sir. We have sent, I had code enforcement contact them, and we received no response. So he has sent them a letter telling them that they have 10 days to clean it up. If they do not, then we will issue a 21-1911, and that will probably be on the December 5th
Yeah, with
council
notice,
meeting.
yeah, with notice
If no action
requirements,
happens. Yeah.
he has to get 15 days, so it would be the next meeting that would work in that timeline would be the first December 5th meeting. In addition, the owner did reach out to me. He's suffering stage 4 liver failure, so he's been working. He's trying to find somebody to help him and get the house finished. So in the meantime, we've just impressed upon him, look, can you just get it cleaned up in the meantime? For whatever reason, he hasn't, so they're moving forward, and we're going the next step to have him here if he doesn't get it done.
So I thought at one point Elliott Homes was supposed to come to a stopping point wherever they were at and go.
He
finish
was
that
trying to
up.
work with them to finish it. He was trying to work out a deal with them so that they could finish it. I don't know the status of that. I just don't. So, but there's obviously other folks that could do it. He's just got to negotiate with someone to get it done.
Let's just press on. I mean,
Yeah, and in the meantime,
long.
I mean, look, while we're sympathetic to his situation, he's got a blighted property, and so we're going to go the 21-19-11 process and just follow the rules, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But we'll keep pressing along. If he can't or won't do it, the 21-19-11 process will allow the city to do it and place a lien on the property.
all right, thank y'all.
All right. I have a few questions. First, I did go ride the road today and ride through the cemetery. I agree with Vic. The southern part would be much better because you pretty much have to drive through a lot of the cemetery to get to the midpoint. And then looking down the road, it is that property drops off going down Capilama from Keno back. There's no way you could put a road in. I mean, there was actually, in a drought, there's water holding there, so it's very wet and it goes down slow. So it would look good. The other thing is when Bayou drives underwater at that specific location, I've seen it several times through the years. I've seen it where it was not passable. So putting the box culvert in is going to open it up where when Rotten Bayou is tidally influenced and comes over Bayou Drive, it'll have an area to disperse on the other side. But generally, when that one's underwater, the bridge on Capilama's underwater. So
And that was the discussion we had,
Yes.
and I had with Vic as well. Is
We know the
we can do what we
timing.
can, but if it's underwater,
Yes.
this road may not help us in any way.
So it will help get them to golf club, then back out the front, but it will work very well with this construction project. That's a very good idea. It is to get it through, to get the box culvert put in. Another thing, the end of Golf Club Drive, where we're restriping it completely, where the intersection's going to be changed, Golf Club and Diamond Head East. Right now, with no striping on there, and I didn't realize it was that bad, but I had a resident with me, and they're like, I can't see where I'm going. And I thought, well, sure, I can. Well, I can't see very well, so it could be partly me, but is very dark, and with no striping, it's very difficult to maneuver. It needs a street light, like
And-
anytime, immediately.
And they're putting, I mean, I've noticed they are putting temporary striping down for in the stops, where stop signs are to try to help that. But I'll address that.
Can you look at a street light at that intersection? Because it is really dark. And with all the asphalt now new and beautiful, it's really dark. The other thing I had was Hilo Street. When do we think that work's gonna be complete? Did they cover up the culverts? Did they put new filter fabric down?
Yes, the contractor took care of that end of last week.
Last
So it's
week,
done.
because I was waiting to hear if he did or not. That was on my list to check off. And the last thing I have was the activity room rental. So I had a few questions. We don't, and I'm sure it's in the rental agreement, and Derek, you may be the one to ask about this. Like, the Lions Club wants to rent it they're a nonprofit, use it 4 times a year, once every quarter. Is that considered reoccurring?
John, I'll defer to you on it. I'll be honest, Mayor, I haven't looked at the rental agreement in some time. I know it was working pretty well, but in action, I don't know what the,
My policy has just been if you use it one time, that's it. The reoccurring to me is anytime additional is all we were going for. So mostly it's just for birthday parties or wedding receptions or that kind of thing. One time use, then you're done.
So for nonprofits, it couldn't be 4 times a year, once a quarter?
We'll look at it. I can look at it and see what the overall rental agreement says.
And is it being rented specifically to Diamond Head residents, or is it anyone? Have we rented it to people that don't live here? And it has to be able to be, I know what
I'm
Derek's
sure it
looking at me
is.
going, and we have to rent it to and I totally get
Yeah, I
that.
haven't checked to see who's renting it, so specifically and where they're from.
we can take a look at it. I'd be happy to take a look at it with John and see if there's any tweaking we can recommend to y'all in the actual, how it works.
I would like to see some tweaking, because I know the Boy Scouts are having issues finding a room to meet, and it's just the little individual groups of them, and they're not large, but that would be, once a week. We need to look at what we can do to help the nonprofits that are servicing and assisting the residents of Diamond Head. I mean, that probably should be a priority that's something I would like to see, to the birthday parties and the weddings. We have venues that can be rented at the community center, but we're very short on meeting places for nonprofits.
Yeah, and
And Boy Scouts.
and John can look at it. I mean, I know there's, some of the concern is the cleaning of it and the costs and all of the scheduling of it and all that, but I'll be happy to take a look at it. It's something that we can certainly look into and make some recommendations to y'all.
Okay. Councilman Clark?
I forgot to ask, I wanted to mention, the lights on Jegs Drive, I think I spoke to you about. Can you give us an update on where we're at on those lights?
Sure. That was actually something I had budgeted for this new fiscal year, and I've actually asked Covington to work out a design for that. The lights are the issue that we needed to fix to begin with, but the irrigation system itself has so many leaks, according to my public works, that there's just really no way to fix it. Anytime he tries to fix one, it breaks several other places. The lighting is the same way. He started at the end and started to try to work back and just can't get it to work. So that was something I put in this year's budget to redo all of that, put in new lighting, new irrigation system, and resod it back to so that it'll look good as our gateway into the city.
So is that something we how long of a time frame are we looking at?
It's a good
Good
question.
question.
Good question. I'll get with the engineer tomorrow, or the next day, and see if I can't get a timeline.
It's just
'cause
dark.
They're working on they're working on a lot of projects for us, but I'll see if they can't to put something together, because I think a little bit of that they're probably going to have to go out for to a landscape engineer that specializes in that more than they do as civil engineers.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, to my right, Councilman Finley.
Well, bouncing off what Chuck said, it is dark. It's Christmas time. The lights should be on. So let's step it up on that. And other than that, I have nothing else to say.
Thank you. Councilwoman Lisi?
Thank you. I had a couple of questions, John. So the three-way stop that we were just talking about, I know in the past we had discussed exploring some options since there have been a couple of accidents. People have been hit by cars. As it gets restriped, are there going to be any changes, or is it still going to be that one lane that doesn't, that has the right of way, because people who aren't from here don't know, and it's very
Right. Now,
confusing.
I asked the engineer, and I believe it's in the plans, I'll have to go back and make sure, to turn that into a traditional three-way stop so that everybody has to stop, and then no one has the full right of way to go, especially being that it's now a one-lane road
Right.
or a two-lane road back and forth, so.
And then, is there any possibility, or did y'all talk about whether it would be a safety, or help to make it flashing? Like,
That's something we could probably just do ourselves. They're not gonna install any stop signs,
Right.
so we could do that
I mean, they have
ourselves.
some solar,
Right.
flashing stop signs in passenger stand that seem to work for it. I just don't want anybody else to get hit. It's,
Certainly.
it's scary. But I agree, the striping and the extra light will certainly help. Okay, we're all very familiar with the yellow house. Well, now we have the green, paint on the strip mall and other places. And so, I guess my question is, we're about to, vote in the Envision plan, eventually, and it does have, design guidelines and all those things. I just want to make sure that we're using every tool at our disposal to kind of get some control over what happens here. We may not all agree on what we want the commercial district to look like, but I think we can all agree we want it to be attractive. And right now, it's not, and I'm very concerned that, people can just do whatever. So we had talked at one point about asking P&Z to discuss the possibility of adding an architectural review board. I'd really like to see them discuss it, and I just want to make sure we're
Right.
doing everything we can to make sure that anything new going forward is, in keeping with.
Sure. Absolutely,
You
and I will tell
understand.
you, P&Z actually did have a brief discussion regarding that at their last planning meeting.
Okay, well, hopefully.
Nothing official, just kind of a more discussion among the council.
Okay, well, hopefully, they will, but, because I know the POA used to handle that, and it fell to the city when we became a city, and right now, really no one is doing it. So, and that's how we get green storefronts. So anything that we can do to help with that would be most appreciated. Thank you.
All right, Councilman Cumberland.
Okay. So John, this is a big list of things on your city manager's report, and there was a lot of positive feedback, things getting done and getting done before schedule, right?
Yes, a lot of it seem to be faster than scheduled, which is a wonderful thing.
That's great. So thank
We
you
got
for
good
that.
contractors. I think good weather probably, yes.
And some good engineers too. I think that guy back there behind you is doing a great job, and
Don't
I wanna thank him for
just-
that.
you
So.
make his head too
Yeah.
big.
It's- Someone said good legal, too?
But yeah, thanks. That's good to have positive feedback on that. And one of the questions I'm getting from people is what is going on across the interstate, cutting down all the trees and things of that nature. So
Sure, that is for the substation that's being built next to, between Rouse's and the new water tower. So that'll bring electrical lines will come across there. I think they come across the interstate over in Harrison County or somewhere up here, right at the line, and then come down, and that's what all that cleared is. And then they'll come back across the interstate into Diamond Head.
okay.
That's actually a 50-foot power company easement.
Yeah.
And they have a access road they're putting in and the power poles. Transmission feeding Rouse's, that substation. You will never be short on power.
That's all I had, Mayor.
All right. Going back over Councilwoman Lisi's question about the Indigex Drive. It is completely restriped. There is a plan for it, and the new layout is phenomenal. It's just dark right now, very dark. Can't see it. All right, moving right along. Could I get a motion to approve the October 17th, 2023 regular scheduled meeting minutes?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilwoman Lisi. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Marr,
Yes.
and Mayor.
Yes. I'm going to move from the table, number 3, 2023-367, a motion to purchase 2,575 square feet of part of Lot 7, Block 6, First Edition, Unit 6, Phase 1, McKeekee Drive, in the amount of $1.25 per square foot for the total purchase price of $3,218.75 from Zachary and Callie Bunter for a permanent drainage easement. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilwoman Lisi. City Clerk?
I got a question.
We need to make an adjustment to that.
We are after I get it off the table.
Oh, okay.
I am
You're
on
the
it.
table. Okay. All right.
I'm on it after we bring him to life.
She's got it.
Okay. Finley,
Give her a chance.
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Cumberland.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. I am going to move to amend motion 2023-367, a motion to purchase, instead of 2,575 square feet, it will now be 3,165 square feet. Instead of the total cost being $3,218.75, it will now be $3,956.20. Could I get a second to move as amended?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Clark. City Clerk?
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Cumberland.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Could I get a motion for the purchase of 3,165 square feet of part of Lot 7, Block 6, First Edition, Unit 6, Phase 1, in the amount of $1.25 per square foot for the total purchase price of $3,956.25 from Zachary and Callie Bunter for the drainage easement? Motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Lisi. Any discussion to my left?
Is this an agreed upon price with the residents?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. I know we had an issue last time, so make sure we're good this
Yep.
time.
Any questions to my right? Okay, City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Cumberland.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2023, motion to adopt Resolution 2023-044, thereby abandoning a 5-foot drainage utility easement on each side of the common property line between lots 22 and 23, Diamond Head Phase 2, Unit 9, Block 2. The parcel number is 067D-0-26-010.000. The physical street address is 11444 Halawa Place. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Cumberland. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Lisi. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Cumberland.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2023-384, motion to adopt Resolution 2023-045, thereby extending the current interlocal agreement between Hancock County and the City of Diamond Head for police protection services and for other related purposes through September 30th, 2025. Motion?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. Any discussion? Any discussion? City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Cumberland.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolution 2023-387, motion to adopt Resolution 2023-346, thereby abandoning a 5-foot drainage utility easement on each side of the common property line between lots 175A and 176A, Glen Eagle Phase 1 replat. The parcel number is 067N-1-35-088.000. The physical street address is 7416 Turnberry Way. Motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilwoman Lisi, second.
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? City Clerk?
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Mar.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Could I get a motion to approve the consent agenda items 7 through 15?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Cumberland. Could I get a second?
8 through 13? Or 16?
18.
8 through 16.
8 through 16.
16 is an action agenda item. Oh, no, I do. No, I hit delete on a line. So it's 16. Motion made by Councilman Clark, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Marr. All in oops, City Clerk. We have to roll call.
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Mar.
Yep.
Mayor.
Yes. Action agenda item number 17, 2023-388, motion to reconsider allowing anyone that had a permit for a landscape culvert that expired during the moratorium on landscape culverts to request during a moratorium time period a new permit, and they be allowed to do landscape culvert according to the present permit and building review requirements for current size and other locations set forth by building officials. Could I get a motion to reconsider?
Move.
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Marr. Okay, so discussion. I'm gonna start with you, Councilman Finley.
Same as I said the first meeting when it was brought up. I see, based on my conversation with planning and zoning and building officials, they have no problem with it, so I'm a go.
Okay, any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right?
Yes. How is this different than the other two motions, council, that we said no to? Is this new?
It appears to be a motion to reconsider the previous motion that was put forth at the last meeting by Councilmember Marr.
Okay.
If that's correct.
And so, just so we're all clear, where we left it last time was we were going to ask P&Z to revisit the whole moratorium and ask our engineers, like, what's appropriate and what's not. I would just like to see it go through that process, because if we vote to give an exception, and it may be fine, they may bless it and say it's no problem, but I don't want to be the person saying, yes, it's okay, and then, oops, there's a drainage problem. I don't have that knowledge, and I don't want to be responsible for that. So if P&Z and the engineers decide it's fine, then great, but I don't think that's should be within our purview. So I'd like to leave it the way it is, so.
All right, so this did not pass at the last meeting, because I thought it did.
It was 3-2, and you need 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was 3-2, so because we need 4 votes, it failed for lack of that 4th vote.
Okay, so, and my thoughts on this, and I'm not changing off of it, first of all, you had a permit, you had 1 year. We all have to get our permit done in a year. You learn this early on in life, you have a time period, you do what you're supposed to do within the time limit. A lot of construction projects were going on during COVID. There was a delay in concrete pipe. I remember us having delays, but I mean, we're talking 5 months, 6 months, not a year. The other side of that is the reason the moratorium went on, we had some landscape culverts put in as rear yard drainage ditches. We've had them put in the front yard drainage ditches, and they caused tremendous impact on the outfall. The ditches are wide open, then all of a sudden you're constricted with a little area. The water can't get out, it's gonna flood the people upstream, and it has to be sized to accommodate the flow coming into it. So I'm still a no, because I don't even know where these are located that we're approving, and I think if you had a year to do it, you should have done it, but that's just me. City Clerk?
This is a motion just to reconsider. Okay. Finley,
Yes.
Lisi,
No.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Marr,
Yes.
Mayor.
No.
So the motion passed for reconsider.
Okay, so,
does that
council, do
mean?
we need to make a motion to allow, or the reconsider
I
will
think that's
work?
what the motion was,
Okay.
to reconsider thereby allowing anyone with a permit. So I believe, and Councilman Finley can correct me, but I believe that.
That was
the
your
motion.
intention, Councilman Finley?
It was, yes.
Yeah, this is intention. All right, moving along. Claims payable. Could I get a motion to approve the docket of claims DKT 231183, DKT 231226 in the amount of $193,738.58, 56 cents?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilwoman Lisi. City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. And we have one non-agenda public comment. So, Harry, would you like to come forward?
I'll start off with, you took the wind out of my sails, okay, with a few things. One, the paving company that's out there has done an unbelievable job.
Yes.
Their people are courteous. The supervisors on the job are unbelievable. Anybody that complains should leave Diamond. Having said that, okay, several months ago, I want to say 2 months ago, I think it was the water company did some striping on Diamond Head North, and I think they were coming off of Bayou and had some paint left in their striping machine or whatever, okay, and did some striping past my house. That striping was unbelievable, okay? It wasn't just like we have in our parking lots where every year you have to redo it. It was thick. I would hope that we do a quality.
That should, I believe that is the same subcontractor that's gonna do the same, striping.
that's great.
So, we
The
should
other
see that
thing
same
with
thing.
regards to that is, most of you have lived here for God knows how long. I just moved here 3 years ago, and dadgum, I miss the turnoffs. If I'm going past my house, I'll miss 2 turnoffs before I get to it at night. Is there anything that we can do to alert us to the turn coming in, so we can get to the other side? Around the turnoffs, like maybe maybe a stripe around the
Okay,
curve or
for
something.
the crossovers you're talking about, yes.
I think the striping's been gone for so long, that's why you're having a difficult time.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
there was nothing
By my
there.
house, there's none.
Yes, it's nothing, it's just asphalt.
Right,
And
okay.
now it's new, dark, beautiful asphalt. You really can't see it, can't. But that's all gonna get white striping. So no, the engineer's not here that's working on that, that's digital.
I'll check on that striping though, and see if they don't
The other
stripe that
thing
around.
is that I've been coming to these meetings for 9 months, okay? I enjoy coming because I learn what's going on. But often, too often, somebody asks a question and no one has an answer. An example, the Noma ballpark, okay? And the question was, who's responsible? Now, we just did a lease, okay? And nobody knows what's in the lease, okay? And more important, nobody ever mentioned it after that. It got done. They did the work. Who's responsible? Does anybody know for maintaining it or for fixing it? I don't know. I talked to the POA. You know what they said? It's y'all's responsibility. The bathroom didn't work, it's y'all's responsibility. But we never hear anything. There are questions that are never brought up, and they should be brought up at the next meeting. that, hey, we didn't have an answer for the ballpark, here's the answer. Okay. Now, y'all might know, but we don't, you know. And last, but well, not quite last, the yellow house. I get a notice, okay, from the city telling me that my son's camper is on my lot and I need to have it removed within 10 days or else. That's been going on for 9 months. Where's the or else? Okay? And I hate to be ugly about this, okay? But 6 weeks ago, they told you to get it cleaned. And it's not clean. 6 weeks ago, and you just said you had to send a letter.
We have to follow the law, sir.
Well, why wasn't
We have
it
to
done
follow
6
notice.
weeks? Why wasn't the letter
You,
issued 6
you
weeks?
want an answer, I'm telling you, we have to follow the law, we have to be in touch with folks, we have to follow certain procedures in order to allow the city to do the 21-19-11 process, so we follow the law.
Yeah, but why does it take so long?
Yeah, sometimes it just takes time. I mean, we just got a
What
new
it
code,
tells me
we just
is
got a
if-
new code enforcement officer that is on the case, he's working on it. I mean, I
What it
told you about the
tells-
gentleman's,
But what it tells me and the public, okay, is that 9 months, and I don't know how long the yellow house has been like that, okay? But for it to take 9 months,
it had been cleaned previously. When he got his initial letters, it has grown up again, and we've tried, and then since that time, the man has had health trouble. So we are trying to get him notice. We're trying to follow the legal steps so that we don't get in trouble as a city when we do it. That's the answer.
all right? And last but not least, it was Jex. 7 weeks that I know that the lights have been out on Jex. So, because I was told that it was a POA problem, I addressed it with the POA, and they told me, no, it's a city problem.
No, that is
And
the
there
city's.
again, why wasn't that ever brought up here that, hey, we're working on it, it's gonna be done, but how long is it gonna take? We're already at 6 weeks, so we're gonna get a bid. We're talking 3 months that it's gonna be out.
As I said earlier, the Public Works was trying to correct those issues, and it just became a bigger problem than he could correct. And he finally said, there's no way we can do this without tearing everything out and starting all
John,
over. And I said, okay.
aren't you-
I said, let's wait till the new fiscal year, and then we'll
There
put
just
this out.
seems to be an ongoing pattern, and that is that everything takes time. We're a little city, okay? I'm gonna make you a reference. Chuck works for Rouse's, big company. Rouse's, when he decides to get something done through Rouse's, it takes time. I had my own stores, okay? It was done tomorrow. He had to wait. And why are we acting like a big city when we're a small community?
Well, we're not acting like a big city. We're just following the state laws and the procurement laws that we have in place that regardless of the size, we have to follow. And it takes time. Unfortunately, it just takes time.
It just seems that things take entirely too much time. And then what's gonna happen if somebody gets hurt going down Jex, ends up in the water and dying? Whose responsibility is that gonna be? So, that's it.
Thank you very much. Thank
And
you.
again, that company is doing an excellent job.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I think they are as well. Thank you. Is there any need for executive session? All right. Could I get a motion to adjourn? Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second? Second made by Mayor Nancy DePriere. City Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi,
Yes.
Cumberland,
Yes.
Clark.
Yeah.